Oh, this is the Believe in Buckeye podcast. Man, the refs are killing the Buckeyes. The refs are killing us. A few bad calls away from this game being completely over. Just a few bad calls away from this game being completely over. Um, I suspected that this could go this way just because, honestly, I mean, let's be honest. Ohio State is much more talented than Tennessee. I think the last game that Ohio State played versus Michigan had most Buckeye fans a little bit reserved in terms of confidence. Um, but still, I mean, you expect to beat this team. But all credit to the team and the coaching staff for coming out with an aggressive start to the game. And I think that's been the difference, right? Because I mean, at the end of the day, the entire world knows it. It's no mystery. The talent that the Buckeyes have on offense at the receiver position is unmatched, right? Um, and let's be honest, Tennessee's defensive line is one of the best groups in the country. Tennessee's defense, top three defense in the country because of that defensive line. Number one defense on first down. They can really stop or they can really shut down the run. They can put a lot of pressure on the quarterback when it comes to pass rushing. Um, so the approach to playing this type of team, especially at home, with in your stadium with your fans with these receivers, is taking them up top, being aggressive, taking shots, cross the 50, take a shot, put pressure on that defense, be able to score without ever having to touch the red zone, be able to score without ever having to touch the 20-yard line, knowing that your defense has your back. Your defense has been, since that Oregon game, the Ohio State defense has been the best defense in college football. I'm not, I'm biased, but I'm not gassing them. They have been the best defense in college football. So you have the leeway to go be aggressive on offense and deal with whatever the results are. If it wasn't for a couple bad calls from the refs, this game would already be over. It's still in. I mean, it could still be a game depending on how this thing goes. There's still a lot of time left. They had a couple opportunities to put this game away already, and I thought a couple bad calls have kept them from doing that. So we'll see how it goes, but they got to continue to be aggressive. I mean, how y'all feeling out there, Buckeyes? Where's the chat at here? How's everybody feeling? Cause I feel good. I feel great. I feel great. So far. So far. I mean, you got to stay. I mean, there's a lot of time left. Like this can easily turn into a game. A couple things go the other way, right? You get an interception, and the referees I'll call a bad call to turn it around. The other team gets an interception off of a play which was clearly a pass interference, and not really a catch, honestly. I mean, those are game changing. Those were two game changing plays that just keeps Tennessee in the game, keeps them in the game. So, gotta see if we can continue to keep the foot on their neck. Well, so this is one thing I really want to address, man. And I'm waiting for Brian, man. I don't know if he's gonna be able to join the chat. What's up, David? David says, "No, that's the start that we needed. The roughing the passer. Yes, the roughing the passer was a bogus call. I agree. It's a terrible call. I think sometimes referees, when a team's getting blown out, I think like subconsciously at times, when it's a close call, you like feel the need to help. Dang, Emeka Buka should have got that first down. We had the numbers, and again, just keeping a minute. But I think sometimes the referees feel like, oh yeah, I could call this because I mean it doesn't matter anyway. That team's getting beat. Like that was a bad call, man. That was a bad call. Emeka Buka has made a bad. I just don't think he made a good play. He just had it to the outside. If he just goes to the outside, it's 2 yards, man. That's a first down. That's an easy first down, honestly. Kudos to the coaches. I think the game plan, the approach, and just the trust in the guys to go get it done they had a good plan to start. There's still a lot of game left, man. Listen, there is still a lot of game left. There's still a lot of game left, so they got to keep going. Ronald says they don't want to lose the audience before halftime. Yeah. I mean, that's what it feels like. All the hype, all the talk from College Game Day. Oh man, I just get annoyed by the ESPN crew, man. I know Kirk Herbstreit is a Buckeye, but it was a long time ago when he played for the Buckeyes. So it was a long time ago, man. I don't know, man. He's been moving a little funny lately, man. And I don't dislike him, and I'm not gonna bash him or anything. But I would say he's a Buckeye fan plus SEC plus whatever pays the bills at ESPN. Because man, the narrative about the Tennessee fans, I don't know if it was just something. I don't know, man. Like they keep pushing this narrative about the Tennessee fans and about the Ohio State fans booing and stuff like that. Like all those things are possible, but why would that even be the focus? You know what I'm saying? Like this is a home playoff game for the Buckeyes versus the SEC team. It's supposed to be a heavy hitter matchup, primetime game. We haven't had many primetime games this year because of Big Noon kickoff. Like, let's talk about that. Let's talk about the tradition, the history at Ohio State, the shoe. I mean, yeah, maybe you get 20,000 Vols fans, which is unusual. There's still another 85,000 fans. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just baffling to me the narratives that they have been, because honestly, like at the end of the day, there's narratives, there's storylines that they focus on, right? The storyline for Texas versus Clemson was the quarterback played against Quinn Ewers and played with a guy from the other team. They mentioned it during the broadcast. The storyline here was all the fans. Oh, College Game Day, we didn't have a lot of Buckeye fans show up for College Game Day. No, we're not showing up at 8 a.m., 9 a.m. when the game's at 8 p.m. and there's no students on the field. In school to be able to carry that College Game Day. Like I don't know, man. I don't really like how the talk has been, and I mean it's just been an SEC centered discussion, pretty much. That's how I feel personally. I don't know. I'm biased, obviously, so maybe I'm wrong. But this is a big drive here. This is a big drive here because you can't let your foot off the gas. You can't allow Tennessee to start creeping back in and start believing. You know, they're in a hostile environment with their 20,000 or so fans or whatever. They're in a hostile environment. It's cold. It's not something they're used to in the SEC or whatever. But the more the game goes on, the more they start to settle in, especially if they see success. So you got to end this half with them not feeling good about the game, right? That's what's most important. You don't want them to get no momentum going into halftime because then they can come out of halftime with a good game plan. I mean, that's the reality. They still got some talent over there, right? They still got some talent. So, got to get a stop. But anyway, man, like some of the discussion, Kirk Herbstreit talking about like, oh, Indiana was completely outclassed. We got to do a better way of making these decisions about the college football playoffs. Let's let the games play out. Let's watch all of them, because everybody wants to focus on Indiana. Everybody wants to focus on SMU just because they got blown out. Listen, every playoff somebody gets blown out almost. Last year's playoffs, I think the games were relatively all good games. That is anomaly. There's typically a blowout in the college football playoffs, and it doesn't prove nothing. All it proves is that one team didn't come ready enough to play. It's football. And in the 12-game playoffs, when you expand the teams, there's going to be more blowouts. Add the element of one team gets a home field advantage, right? Imagine being from Texas, traveling to Pennsylvania to go play in Happy Valley, staying in that outside motel. I don't even know what the name of it is, but when I just remember playing Penn State, the worst hotel I stayed in was at Penn State. The worst hotel for any away game in my entire career Oh, let me go back to my hotels and make sure I'm being accurate here. Yeah, I think Penn State would be the worst hotel that I stayed in any away game in my entire career. I remember being woken up at like 6 a.m. fans in the parking lot, Penn State fans in the parking lot, outside hotel. So, I mean, the environment is tough. It's tough to play on the road, especially in a college football atmosphere type environment. So there's gonna be some blowouts, man. So this idea that this is evidence that SEC teams should have got more teams. And listen, they got to come out here and play games and win. They lost during the season, which is an indication that they probably would lose in the playoff as well. Um, so yeah, but I think the key here, key difference between this game and the last game is the aggressiveness on offense, the intentionality of getting the ball to my playmakers. Maybe it's on a deep ball, maybe it's a crossing route, maybe it's a bubble screen. The creativity in terms of let me get the ball to my playmakers and put them in position to make plays, right? Because that's the goal. When you have that talent, it's only as useful as what you do with it, right? Like, we celebrate the 5-star receivers coming in and committing every year, right? When you walk into a game versus the team up north, or you walk into a game in the college football playoff, those 5-star players are only as good as the opportunities they get to exploit matchups. Right? So it's up to the coaches to hold up their side of the bargain. I think so far in the first half, they've done that. They've it's not perfect play calling, and nobody's going to be perfect, but it is being intentional about getting those players who are problems on offense for defenses the ball in space, getting them in one-on-one matchups that they can potentially exploit, right? Even on the interception, man, eh, too far off, too far off. Got to be able to play off coverage a little bit more tighter than that. Um, yeah, even that interception, Jeremiah Smith, that's the matchup. Like that's the play. That was the right decision. That was the right pass. It was a pass interference. Uh, so yeah, but we got to get a stop. Got to get a stop. Don't let Tennessee creep back into this game. I don't know if I agree with this defensive approach though. I don't know if I agree with that defensive. I know I know Tennessee's in a 2-minute offense right now, and they're trying to throw the ball, and they're trying to get a big play. But we still gotta be a little bit more attacking on offense. Ooh, Sonny Styles with the hit. That's what I like to see. Still gotta be attacking on offense. ESPN is SEC Central. Yeah, I mean that's who they got to deal with. So they got to deal with the SEC, and that's you're there for 20 years or whatever. You start buying into the narrative that you create, right? Because you're trying to promote a team, promote a conference, and you got to believe some of what you're selling at times. All right, so my TV down here in the basement is a little bit slower. So y'all probably seen this stuff happen before me, but I'm seeing fourth down, 4th and 1. They get the first down. It's too much. That's too much. All right, now you got to shift your mindset. You can't give up 6. You can't give up a touchdown at this point. All right. I mean, worst case scenario, if they score, they get 3 points, and that's it. It's 21-6 going in the half. Like you have to lock in and not give it up. I thought they was too soft early on, but now they've gotten it. Now they've gotten into the kind of the red zone area. Got to tighten up. and not give up a score, not give up a touchdown score. You got to tackle. Come on now. We got to tackle. All right, so my TV slower than the TV upstairs. I just heard my wife yell, but it sounded like a celebratory yell. So I think something good just happened. I think something good just happened, but I'm gonna wait and pretend like I ain't see it. Oh yeah, batted the ball down. Jack Sawyer almost tipped that ball to himself, man. He almost. Hey, Jack Sawyer really, and he gets his hand on a lot of balls, man. Balls, but he gets his hand on a lot of balls. Man, a turnover would be great. A turnover would be great. But I know it didn't happen because my TV slower than my wife upstairs, and I don't hear her yelling and stomping and stuff. Good call by Tennessee to run the draw. I think if there's one thing that we struggle with defensively is that quarterback run. I think it's a lot of things we do a good job with. Is that quarterback run is the one thing. This is a huge drive in the game, man. Right before half, um, you're Tennessee. You're searching for something. You're searching for something. You got a few breaks. You got a pass interference when the outside was driving. You got a bad roughing the passer call when you threw a pick. Um, and you're hoping that at this point that you can cash in on a 2-minute drive right before half. Just put it 21-10, down 11 points. That's a manageable situation. You got a whole half to play. You're still in the game. Um, if you don't get any points, 21-3, uh, it's not looking too good coming out of half. You really got to start super fast in that third quarter, otherwise the game slips away from you really really early. So uh, this is going to be a big drive. How this half finishes is going to be huge, huge. There's 3 or 4 times Ohio State had this opportunity to put this game completely away, and the door is still, it's not really cracked open, but it ain't all the way closed shut. It's not all the way closed shut. Um, so let's see. 3rd and 2. It's still 3rd and 2 on my TV here. I know I'm a little bit slower than y'all here. First down. First down. I need to get Brian on chat, man. Where I gotta get Brian to pull up. I'm texting Brian Brown and see if you gonna get on here. I want to get Lane Kiffin on here to really talk about SEC and the strength of schedule and the talent that just across the board in the SEC that's like so crushing, like so great. That's what I really wanted to dive into, But Lane Kiffin, he's not picking up the phone. I don't really got his phone number, but he's not picking up the tweet. Be a great conversation. I respect Lane Kiffin a lot, man. Great coach. He's great on Twitter as well. He's an elite tweeter, pretty good coach. But I would not allow them to continue to push his narrative that none of these teams that get beat by a lot of points belong. Y'all gotta be careful falling victim to that narrative that because a team shows up who had a great season, shows up into the playoffs and gets exposed, doesn't belong at all. Be careful, because what we're going to end up doing is we're going to end up making the regular season not be important at all. And any team that we just believe is good will always be in the playoffs, which means the same teams will always be in the playoffs because, we just believe that they got to be the more talented team. We don't know. We do not know. That's the reality. Nobody wants to come out and just say, like, I really don't know. And that was that reality. So you got to go by what do they do on the football field? What have they done? Do they take care of the guys who are in front of them? Because, they score. We done kept them in the game. We have kept them in the game. Tennessee is still alive in this game, y'all. Still alive in this game. Still alive in this game. I need Ohio State to lock in and start the second half just as fast as they started the first. This isn't the time to try to hold on to a win. Nothing has changed. Right? Nothing has changed for real. That's a great drive by Tennessee. Tennessee is a good football team. The narrative that the SEC teams are all great and all the other teams aren't as competitive is a false narrative. All right, that's a false narrative. Tennessee is a good football team. So if you give them life and give them an opportunity, they can make some plays. They do have talented players. So Ohio State is the better team. And it requires it's a good play, good run play by Tennessee. We had a shot. But yeah, we can't give them life. Gotta put this game away. Again, I think the game plan to start the game is the same game plan you have to start the second half. I mean, you got to make these defensive backs cover these talented receivers in space. And if defensively, if their game plan is to really, really focus on coverage, then you get the opportunities for Judkins and Travion to have explosive run plays. And that's just that's the personnel that we have. So we have to take advantage of it. Obviously, turnovers can be impactful, can hurt the team, etc. So you want to take care of the football, but you still gotta stay aggressive. Gotta stay aggressive. I'm gonna see you in the second half, fourth quarter. I'll go live. See if Brian can hop on here. Believe in Buckeye Podcast. Check us out. Follow us on Twitter. Check out our YouTube page. Go subscribe. We'll break down this. We're gonna get on live here again, but we'll break down this game afterwards as well. So check out the podcast, etc. And let's go Bucks. Let's go. I gotta get off line. I gotta lock in. I gotta focus.